We're Linda and Scotty, and we're Kiwis Fly the Coop. We've been nomadic since 2017. We're leaving our caravan and our life behind in New Zealand to travel the world again. Follow us and see where we end up. Good morning, welcome back. We're still in Braunston where we left you on our last video, and we're about to keep heading the way we were going, because I don't even know which direction that is. So the thing about canal boating is that you don't know really sort of how far you're going to go. It's just brushing it slowly pretty much. So today the first priority is to top up with water. Now you need to top up with water not only so that you've got water to use, but it also acts as a ballast for the boat, so it keeps the nose down. So the more water you have on board, the more level it'll be. There is also a rubbish disposal point where we're going as well, and then we'll carry on. And first challenge is going to be those 6 steps up the locks. Woohoo, bring it on. I've had breakfast, got plenty of energy, although my arms are a little bit sore this morning. So here we go, and we're off. One thing we have really noticed, oh, that sun is bright, nobody really gets up early. So it's about 20 past 8, getting on to 8:30, and we want to get to that water point first. So everyone else seems to be still asleep. Luckily our engine isn't too noisy. There's Captain Scotty in the background here. Braunston is a really popular spot with the canal boats, the narrow boats. So this is on the other side of the bridge to where we were, and they were still coming in late last night.
So there's just a water point, so they give you a key so you can unlock it, so you can turn the valve on,
yeah.
So we can fill up our water.
So this shuts up and it gets locked,
yeah.
So that not everybody can use the water. And we've chosen this one because it also has a rubbish point. And I'm also pretty that we saw further down that we passed, also it looked like it had a dump station, so that must be where they can empty the black tanks on board the boat. Now these double locks, it's always better to find a friend. I'm actually thinking that Tinder for narrow boats would be a good app to start. So we found a friend, so they're wedged in together, and so we don't need to lash them with the water going up and down. So much better when you find someone else. And funnily enough, the boat that's just come out of this lock are Kiwis as well, so that was nice to see the fern on the back of their boat. That's the 6 locks done out of the way, done and dusted. Now at 3 of them we had assistance from the wonderful lock volunteers, so that was quite nice. We found a friend on the 4th one, so we could go through with it way easier. Anyway, I'm talking now because when we get to it, I'm not going to have a chance. So we're headed to the Braunston Tunnel. Now it's going to take 20 to 25 minutes to get through. Pitch black, so that's why I'm doing it now. Just let me refer to my notes for Linda's fascinating facts. Fact number 1, it is 1867 meters long. Fact number 2, it is only 4.8 meters wide, which means 2 narrow boats can pass, even though that you might touch a few times. But they keep telling us, yep, you're right, if you see somebody coming, might be a few bangs, but you can pass each other. So that's good. Interesting fact number 3 is that it was built in 1776. So my notes say, I should really have my glasses on so I can actually read what I've written. 1776, and it is actually an S-bend, so there is a bend in the tunnel, and the reason for that is that they did have to stop building because of soil movement. So the bend in the tunnel is due to the movement of the ground around it when they were building. So there's your 4 interesting, fascinating facts. So we made it through the tunnel, and we are now just heading, just because that's just what you do. Mind you, we have stopped and walked about 20 minutes to a Tesco just to replenish our drinking supplies. Actually, it was Scotty's drinking supplies, and just to top up our food. Don't want to over cater because I don't want to leave any food behind. So onward. There are quite another flight of locks, but we're not too sure whether we're going to get to that or not. Just going to keep going. Apparently the weather's going to turn a bit crappy tomorrow, so we'll just make the most of it. So pretty. It is just so pretty in this part of the canals. Alright, we're still chuffing away on our merry way. Now we looks like we're going to make the Watford locks. Now this is a series of 6 locks, so you've got 1 singular, a set of 4, that's what they call the staircase, because they go bang 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 one after another, and then 2 more after that are 2 more single locks. Now these ones have got oh, there's a bridge. These ones have got a water pond reservoirs off to the side to preserve the water, because water's scarce. And wait right there, and I'm back. Who knew that bridge was going to be so wide? It's still a bit patchy in the shade, but yeah, the Watford locks, they were built in 1814, and there were plans to widen them because it was a really busy part of the canal, but that plan did not go ahead. It is manned or womaned. They do have lock assistants there to help and to make sure that the flow is continuous, and it takes about 45 minutes to get through all the locks. There's no guarantee that we're going to be able to get on them today. We may just need to moor up for the night. It depends on how big a backlog there is. We haven't really been passing too many boats heading in the opposite direction to us, so I'm not sure what the story is, but we'll find out when we get there. So what's happening now is that there are about 4 or 5 boats to come down the staircase just behind me, and Scotty's been put into a holding pattern. We've been through the first 2 singular locks, and we are just in a holding pattern at the base of this staircase, so we just need to wait for the others to come down this flight of 4 locks, and then we're all good to go. Scotty's actually having a turn at doing the locks, because he's got to be the helmsman. I've got to do all the locks, so we're waiting here for about 45 minutes to get up the staircase, and so Scotty's having a little bit of a go on what it's like to be a lockie. Got to do his bit. Got to do his bit. I can quite safely say that I am knackered after all those locks, but did it, and what an experience. Like, never been through anything like that before. The staircase was amazing, how that was all invented. Anyhow, we've carried on, and we're going to be going through another tunnel. This tunnel is the Crick tunnel. This one was built in 1814, and it was originally built to transport treacle through the tunnel as an easier form of transportation for them. Not quite as long as the Braunston tunnel, but wide enough still to take 2 narrow boats side by side coming in opposite directions. So we'll see if we come across anyone. We're a bit later in the day now. It's coming up to after 4 o'clock, so there may not be quite so many people on the canal as earlier. Here's the map book that I was talking about before that they give you. It's all about Birmingham and the heart of England. So anyway, you just find where you are. So we were moored down around here last night. So we got to all this way and then it carries on. Got all this way today, carries on, and we get to carry on, and this is where we want to get to. These are the historical Foxton Locks staircase. So whether we get there or not, I don't know. Oh, and as you may well expect, Scotty has an app. There is an app that you can get specifically for canal boats. So we've had coverage just about the whole way on mobile data. It was a bit sketchy where we stayed last night, but we managed to get the app up, and so yeah, we can track it on the app, and that definitely tells you where your water points are. On this physical map it does too. Also your turnaround points, because you just can't turn these around in the normal width of quite a narrow canal. So we're just coming up to our third tunnel of our trip. This is the Husbands Boswell Tunnel. This one's a little bit older actually. This was built back in 1813, and it was built wide enough to take 2 narrowboats side by side. And just remember too that none of these tunnels have the towpaths that we see running alongside us nearly all the time. So they would have to unhook the horses, and the horses would have to walk up and over the hill and meet them at the other end. So they would have to, what they call leg it, which I'm presuming just must have to be with poles, boat poles, to get through all these tunnels. So this one is 1,166 yards long. I'm going to have to put the meterage conversion down below because I don't have any Wi-Fi to convert it. So the Husbands Boswell Tunnel, and you can just see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though the tunnel does have a few kinks in it. We're actually getting quite close to the Foxton Locks, the famous Foxton Locks, because hundreds of tourists flock to them every year to have a look at them because they are quite unique. Now we've been motoring non-stop now for about 6.5 hours. Probably by the time we get to the locks it'll be more like 7 hours. Breakfast on the go, lunch on the go. We just wanted to get to the Foxton Locks because this will be our turnaround area, and we will head back and make sure we have got time to get back to Rugby by Monday morning. So the Foxton Locks, they are the steepest locks in whole of Britain. It rises about 75 feet, and there are 2 staircases with 5 locks in each, so 10 locks altogether. And it was basically built back in, I think it started in about 1810, finished in 1814, and that was the crucial link that linked North England with South England. And they're fully manned, so I'm not too sure what I will be needing to do, but yeah, happy to give them a hand because I'm such an expert in it now. I'm not, but no, really looking forward to seeing it. And they're basically the same as what they were when they were first built, so we're really excited to go and see them and experience the steepest locks in the whole of Britain. Bring it on. We've made it. Nearly 7 hours later. Ouch. after nearly 7 hours of cruising, we're done. We're down the locks, and the locks are directly ahead of me where I'm pointing now, and we've got the choice of 2 pubs, and guess what? This is going to be our overnight stop. We've both had hot showers and we're going to go to the pub. We thought that we would save ourselves for 1 pub night on this trip, and tonight's the night. This is the little settlement of Foxton at the bottom of the Foxton Locks. So you've got the Foxton Locks Inn, and then you've got another pub just over there. So we'll go over and see which one takes our fancy. And I'm just going to swing you around. And this is what they call a swing bridge here. So you pull that around. It's like on a turntable, really. And just down that canal is the little settlement of Foxton, which we didn't think we'd go into. I think we're just quite happy here, close to the pubs, of course.
What's the best thing of canal boating? Stopping outside a pub.
You might want to talk louder.
Oh,
Go.
What's the best thing about canal boating? Stopping outside a pub.
Date night, or date afternoon, because we're too tired to go out at night.
Oh, knackered.
So there's, hang on,
How
can you
much
see? There's Bryn in the background, and we're at the pub
Yeah,
for dinner.
we're going to have a night out.
Tell you what, I have to say, English cider is amazing. We just, even Scotty's drinking cider instead of beer.
This one's called Inches.
But it's not sweet. That's what's so good about it. Anyway, we'll report later on what we get for tea. Morning. We're coming to you from Foxton, where we left off last night, after a nice feed and a couple of drinks at the pub across the way. And we've woken up to a very, very misty morning. We can't complain, because this is probably about the worst morning we've had, to be fair. Had quite a bit of rain overnight. It's not raining at the moment, but the fog is down. So we parked quite close to a water fill point. When you're going along the canals, you'll see that there are white bollards. See if I can't get it into shot. These white bollards that you see here, that means that you can't stop there because it's a water point or a service point, something like that. So we're just outside that, and our hose will actually reach from the tap, so that was quite good. So it is only, what's the time? Oh, God knows what the time is. About 6:45, I think. So we're just going to fill up with water, and then we're just going to putt, as Scotty says, just across the way, park up there. So that we'll be first in line for when the lock keepers start at 8 AM to climb back up the series of 10 locks, up the staircase, or up the double staircase actually. So much history in this area. Just amazing that it's been here all this time. 200 years, go figure. And it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same as it was. Great invention. This was my guardian angel coming up the locks. You know, what was your first name? Keith. He is a legend, just part of the vast volunteer structure at these locks. Where would we be without them? Love you, Keith.
Love you.
Okay. So we've started the long trek back. We're not too sure how far we're going to get today, but we want to make this our biggest travel day so that it puts us closer to Rugby, because we've got 3 more nights, I think, on here. And then we can have a couple more relaxing days. So it's been pretty quiet. We're really right on the shoulder season. So all the schools are back on Monday, so it has quietened down, hopefully. So we haven't really met too many boats. So as you saw, we've come back up the 10 locks, the stairway to heaven at Foxton, and we're just making our way down. You saw previously some horses. Back in the day, you would have seen hundreds of horses along here. There is a towpath that follows all the canals all the way, and that's where the horses used to tow the canal boats. And as we go under the bridges, I'll see if I can try and get it on video, but there are some darker bricks on all the edges, and you'll see grooves in some of them. Now those are the tow ropes. Those grooves were made by the tow ropes from the horses as they used to pull the barges through. So yeah, quite a lot of history between the canals and the horses. We find ourselves back in Crick. Now Crick is where we stayed the night before last, went to Foxton, went down the locks, stayed the night, came back up the locks, carried on back and back to Crick. But last time we didn't really come into the town, did we?
Yeah, we got to Crick and thought, that's far enough.
Do you want to come into shot?
I am.
If you're going to talk.
Now. There I am.
Alright, there you are.
Okay,
So
have a look around.
now we're... thought we'd have a look around a Crick, and one of the pubs came quite well recommended. Now we've already had our pub meal, our date night out last night. So, but that stopping in for a drink doesn't count.
No,
Hey?
no.
Right.
I might get some chippies too.
So in the background you can see the obligatory church that every town has. Let's go for a wee wander around Crick until the pub opens. This is where we were tied up last night, just by Crick. It was just a short walk into town that way. You would have seen that already. Really, really quiet. We thought that we would quite like to try and get a little bit further than what we did, because we know that we're in for a big day today. Countdown's on, we've got 2 nights left. So you certainly have to multiply that by how far you have to go. It's not a big day in kilometres, or miles as they say here, but it is a big day with regards to 2 sets of locks, and I know that one set of that is those double ones, so hopefully we can find a friend again. It makes it a bit easier. But if we had carried on, we still had another good hour or so that we could have gone, but our choices to moor up was between the M1 and a railway line. And I couldn't see anywhere on the map where it would have been relatively quiet. So it was so peaceful here last night. We were right by that bridge, and dead ahead of me is the next tunnel that we've got to go through. So super quiet. So it was worth stopping there and knowing that we have a little bit more of a longer day today. But that's all good. We're just rushing it slowly, as you do in a narrow boat. The other thing I have to say is that this is just the best time of the day. It's just gone 6:30 in the morning. Scotty's still in bed. I'm going back to boil the jug for a coffee, but we'll probably hope to get away fairly early to get down to the first set of locks in particular, because it is Saturday today. So you know, you have a lot of weekenders. There is a couple of marinas that we just passed further on up, so you get the weekenders coming out on Picking. School is finally back on Monday, all the schools, so that's working in our favour as well. But yeah, we'll be pouring that coffee, unleashing and carrying on our way pretty soon. Where did we spend the night last night, Scotty?
We're in Braunston.
Do you want to elaborate any more on that?
Well, no, it's the town of Braunston.
This is where we were on our second night, so we've come back.
It's second last night.
Our second to last night, so it's only, I don't know, what's the time?
It is 7:18 in the morning.
7:18 in the morning, and we'll be here. Oh yeah, it's better. We'll be heading off soon, and this will be our last full day, so we're going to get as close as we can to Rugby, where we need to drop Bryn off in the morning, 8:30. So we need to get there fairly close by, so that there's no mad rush.
And see, it's good to be large. I can block out the sun.
Yeah, beautiful day. The mist is rising up off the canal. It's just beautiful. It's the best time of the day. Well, we're certainly on the homeward stretch, so just ahead of us is the Foxton Locks, which was my nemesis. These were the first locks I had to do, and basically on my own. So now I think I've had about 40 odd locks under my belt. Maybe I just might know what I'm doing, although I don't want to talk too soon. Morning. Cafe located conveniently right beside the locks, so it'd be rude not to, except well, Scotty's, look, there he is, a little upset because they don't sell alcohol for another 30 minutes, so he had to have a coffee.
4A, 28, 50, yeah, take off too.
And we're rolling.
Thanks for the warning.
And we're done.
You love that pen on that phone, eh?
Shut up. We're done. We are at our last night, and we are about 40 minutes from where we need to deliver Bryn back
in the morning
by 8:30. Our packs are packed. That's always a mission.
Yeah.
Everything's done. All the food is eaten apart from 4 tomatoes,
a bit of cheese, some mayonnaise,
some crackers,
all
and
the alcohol's gone.
Well, yeah, we drank all the alcohol. So yeah, we can hear some trains, we can hear a main road, but not so bad. Anyhow,
we've had a ball.
Loved it.
It was fantastic. Could do it longer. Met some amazing people.
But we're glad we didn't do it shorter.
Yeah.
Because of the price. I mean, it's not cheap. I was more, maybe we should do 4, maybe 5 nights max. But I'm really pleased we did a week, because by the time you finished your week,
yeah.
Well, by the time you finish 5, you want more.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
we
not
still
enough.
want more, eh? And you don't want to rush too much. You want to be able to see as much as you can, because that's the big thing. There's a couple of people you notice are rushing, and I think other rental boats too, because they're trying to do as much as they can in the time they've got. So it allows some time. We met some people today. They've been away for I think 10 days or maybe 14. I'm not too sure, but they're going to come back. And they're going to allow 3 weeks for next time, because they want to be able to see more and just be a lot slower, eh?
But we will go into more detail when we're back on dry land, and a little bit more organised of a list. The things that we found was helpful if anybody is interested in doing what we're doing, and hopefully that may help a little bit. But our tally was...
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, we're back. I had to have a cough. So I'm getting the giggles.
Oh,
it's the second time today I've got the giggles.
So, our tally. I don't think we know the miles. It just seemed to take forever. But anyway,
it's not big miles though, is it? Really? Because you're at just on walking pace, so. Don't think you're doing like 100 or 200 miles. You're definitely not.
You certainly rush it slowly.
Yeah.
Definitely rush it slowly. So our tally was 54 locks. 54 locks I had to open and close. So if I opened it and then closed it, could that count as 2?
No, because someone sometimes helped you to close
Could it be 108?
But then you close some others, and then it's all different. You
right.
can't do it anyway. Let's go with that.
54 locks.
Yeah.
And 8 tunnels.
Yeah. Tunnels were cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got the giggles because we haven't argued at all on this trip, but on our final night here, there was a boat coming down. There's a couple of boats packed up on this nice little area behind us. and all of a sudden, this other boat came around the corner. He's having a fit.
We heard a massive bang.
We could hear it, and then he mentioned to the end boat about something he couldn't see and blah blah blah, and it's annoying him. And the guy said it gets worse, so he threw his arms up in the air, slammed down on the back of the boat, and went into the cabin. Now the worst thing about that, the boat was still going, and he let the tiller go. So it turned, hit a boat on the other side, into the boat that's behind us. Not hard. They just felt it, and he was going off. The wife had to take over. And he was yelling and swearing, going past.
We just couldn't stop laughing.
I had to look away because I just couldn't stop laughing. Sorry.
Yeah, lots of F words. Yeah. And so the poor wife had to take over the steering while he threw his toys out of the cot.
So the moral of that is just take your time, make sure you both know what you're doing, and discuss things. And do it my way.
Yeah. There is always a skipper on board.
Yeah.
And Scotty was the skipper, so yeah, had to succumb to that, but it's all good. So as I said, yeah.
Still didn't make any decisions though.
You did when you were allowed to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So as I said, we will do an overview on what we found helpful, and if we do anything different, I don't know. But we're waffling now. Anyway. So
but remember, the fix we'll bring is novices doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were.
Yeah, and that's what we were. Yeah. So we're not experts or anything like that, but we'll just talk about what we noticed, and what we felt would be better in the future for us if we do another trip, and things like that.
So that's it from us, signing off on the water, and we'll catch up with you back on the land.
Yeah. Catch you later.
Bye.